Hey kids, it's Lio. Today we're going to do a couple of lacy patterns with very different feels. One is a little more grown up and, dare I say, sexy. The other is very sweet and classic. Both are perfect for Valentine's Day. Now, I know what you're thinking. How did you get such consistent, detailed patterns on each nail? Welcome to Nail Stamping 101, kids. Let's get to it. We'll start off with clean, prepped nails with a standard base coat. For our sweet look, the base color we'll use is a nice bright bubblegum pink. For the more mature look, a nude that skews very slightly pink or peachy. So, stamping. This technique requires a bunch of junk, y'all. Have everything laid out and ready to roll before you start. Otherwise, it's like baking cookies without checking to see whether you have everything first. You're out of eggs, Peggy, it ain't gonna work. First, you need an image plate. A clean image plate. Second, the stamper and scraper. I greatly prefer the clear stampers because you can look right through them for easier placement. Most stamps come with scrapers, but something like an old gift card works well too. You'll also need cotton balls or cotton pads. I prefer the pads here because I find they shed cotton fibers all the heck over my mani less, and acetone. Do not try to play it safe with non-acetone remover here. Full strength, hardcore! I also have a paper towel handy. Oh, and if you have any of that latex paint-on stuff to protect your skin, use that, or else have some cleanup brushes or cotton buds handy. We'll stamp the mature design quickly first, so you can see it in action, then go step by step for the sweet nail. I'm using a black stamping polish. To get a design, you quickly dab polish onto the plate, then quickly scrape, quickly grab your stamper, press down quickly, then position and put it on your nail quickly! Why so quickly? If your polish starts to dry at any point in this process, you are screwed! Make sure you thoroughly clean each piece of equipment with acetone between stamps. Well, make sure you do the plate and the stamper. Since I'm not doing anything fancy like gradients, I get a little lazy with the scraper and I wipe that on the paper towel when I need to, whatever. So, on to the classic design on hand 2, which requires one more bit of equipment. Yes, seriously. After you finish your first hand, wait a minute or two to make sure everything is super dry and set in place, then put on a rubber glove. There is nothing worse than having a finished design wrecked because you got a little careless cleaning your plates with acetone on hand 2. For hand 2, I want the design to be a little bit more subtle than the first, so I'm going to use a regular polish. The main difference between stamping and regular nail lacquer is pigment intensity, so if you want your design nice and opaque, go with a stamper. Stamping with regular polish is totally fine as long as you realize the base color will show through a little bit and the polish is nice and liquid. Make sure you press straight down with your stamper until you cover your entire nail with the design, then shimmy a little bit to make sure the design lifts. If you roll your stamp around before the whole thing is on your nail, the lines will break up. If you come at it at an angle, it can warp. That's not really a big deal for lace, but if you're doing something with straight lines, it can look really messed up. If you take your sweet time after the lift before doing the transfer, then it'll resist stamping again. Quickly. Unless, of course, you put enough polish on over it to make it into a decal. We will definitely be getting back to that technique in another video. Oh, and make sure when you add your top coat, you're not actually touching your design with a brush. Touching with a brush means smearing. Like Bob Ross said, 2 hairs and some air. You want to sort of glide it over and let that little drop of top coat do all the work. Make as few strokes as you can too. If possible, try to get a schmancy stamping top coat, which is even less likely to smear. And that's it. It is a bit involved to get started. I put all the products I used in the video description box as usual if you need some supplies. Subscribe while you're there! The stampers themselves only run a couple bucks, but then you can get real wild with the stamping plates. And then, bam! Intricate designs on your nail with no freaking freehanding. Boom, done. I'm playing a video game or making pipe cleaner crafts with my kids or any dang thing other than trying to create fiddly details with a teeny tiny little brush. Whew! I got a little passionate there. I'll see you next time.